Now let's solve some systems algebraically, and we're going to use a technique called substitution. For substitution, here are the steps, but until you do it, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense. What you need to do is solve one of the equations for one of the variables. Say we solve equation 1 for y. Substitute that expression for y into the second equation and do some algebra to solve for the variable. So if I solve for in equation 1 for y, I will wind up getting x. X is going to be a number. Take this x and substitute it into one of the original equations and solve to get your second variable. And of course, check your answers. So let's look at this problem right here. 3x plus 4y is 12, and 2x plus y is 10. Now what you want to do is pick the equation to solve. Initially, you want to pick the one that's easiest. So I'm going to pick this one right here and solve this one for y because there's the least amount of work to get to y. So I'm going to subtract 2x from both sides. So I have the equation y is equal to minus 2x plus 10. So that's the first solve. Next, I'm going to substitute. Let me change pen colors. My pen will change. Next, I'm going to substitute. And I want to take this and I'm going to substitute it into the other equation. So I have 3x plus 4. Now, everywhere I have y, I'm going to substitute in minus 2x plus 10. And that's equal to 12. Now, the next step is to solve this. So I'm going to solve this for x. So let's see, 3x plus, I'm going to distribute this 4 to both terms. So this is minus 8x plus 40 equals 12. Collect like terms, so I have minus 5x is equal to, let's see, I want to subtract 40 from both sides. I get minus 28. So x is 28 over 5. Or if I put this in decimal form, this is 5.6. That's the first solve. Now I'm going to substitute this back into one of the original equations. And it doesn't matter which one I substitute into. But you know what? I like this one so much because it's so straightforward. I'm going to substitute it into 2x plus y equals 10. So this is 2. Now everywhere I have an x, I'm going to put in 5.6 plus y equals 10. So this is 11.2 plus y equals 10, or y is negative 1.2. So my solution is x is 5.6, y is negative 1.2. Now the last step is to check. To check, you put it into both of these equations and see if you get a true statement. So 3 times 5.6 plus 4 times negative 1.2 times, does that equal 12? And I'm going to put a question mark there. So 3 times 5.6 is equal to 16.8. This is going to be minus 4 times 1.2 is 4.8. And when I do the subtraction, indeed I do get 12. You want to check the other line as well. So 2 times 5.6 plus a negative 1.2, does that equal 10? And I put the question mark there. 2 times 5.6 is 11.2. Minus 1.2, and yes, indeed, that does equal 10. Now remember, you want to use substitution, if you have a choice, when one of the equations is easy to solve for.